we do that in conjunction with providing a lot of online content that already exists. So someone may want, maybe they're just spitballing and thinking about what's a small business that I want to start. Um, we have a training called 10 Questions to Ask Yourself Before You Start a Business. Because maybe not starting the business is the right thing to do. Maybe waiting is the right thing to do. If someone wants help getting access to capital, if they want to understand, we don't provide loans, but we provide a lot of coaching insofar as how to get one, for example. Are your projections solid? Have you looked at your competitors? That kind of thing. Um, our mission is already there. I think the thing to emphasize in the mission is that it's the full business life cycle from optimization to exit. If someone wants to expand, I haven't really spoken about that. Expansion is also something that we talk to them about. And we also talk to them about um, uh, how to handle employees, professional development, that kind of thing. So we'll be looking to do an event this fall, probably September 2nd, most likely at the Sky High Center in cooperation with a number of other local organizations. One of the things we'll be doing at that is talking about how do we engage Gen Z. Um, we're facing a pretty significant retirement situation here in the Valley. It's, of course, a situation nationwide with a lot of boomers retiring from the workforce, not necessarily having Gen Z to replace them, millennials to replace them. It's important that we retain our talent, retain our youth here in the Valley, those that we can get to take the place of those many retirees that will be happening. Next slide. These are some links to some of the services I've already talked about. First one is to our confidential business advising. The second one is to our calendar of events. There's a very significant statewide series of offerings that we're very much plugged into. We're plugged into that for our advising as well. So if someone wants an out-of-town opinion, we can get them an out-of-town opinion. If someone wants a local opinion, we can get them a local opinion. But there is, every day, some SBDC around the state as part of our network of centers is going to be providing some new, often online, mostly free business advice course. And so folks can access that training calendar. They can also access just a ton of content. So if they just want to, have their coffee and take in some of our content for free, they can do that from the privacy of their home, and they don't necessarily have to engage with us directly in order to do that. And then the last thing we do is there might be a community or resource connection that we can make. Let's say someone is interested in transitioning to employee ownership. We might connect them to the Rocky Mountain Employee Ownership Center. We might connect them to CHAFA. We might connect them to a variety of organizations that might meet their needs. If someone was a veteran, there's a VBOC that provides veterans services similar to ours. We might connect them. We can certainly serve them. They're happy to serve any veteran, absolutely, front of the line. But if they want someone who's specific to veterans business, we might refer them to the VBOC. So those are the kinds of connections that we made. Why it matters, I'm sure this is probably preaching to the choir. I think folks know, sales tax receipts, the overall economic health of the Valley, jobs, keeping people here. But if you want to check out some individual success stories that come from the Valley, one of those is featured right here. You can go to our website and you'll see sort of a changing real stories of people who've been affected by our services. We are very much interested in this, and then in 2 slides, but you can leave it here now. We are very much interested in engaging the community, finding out what they want from us. That's how you can sign up for our newsletter there. We've got social media handles. We've got a website. We've got an office open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday on the Adams State campus. We're there in the business school. We're happy to meet with anyone during those times. We're also happy to meet with them after hours. So if there's a business that says, hey, that's when I'm open, we're happy to meet with you. 6 or 7 o'clock at night, that would be just fine. Okay. Next slide. So a little bit about our team, small but mighty. Me and a student right now. I think I'm hiring another student here. A little bit about my background. Most recently, I was the Deputy Director of Human Services for Alamosa County. Before that, I was the Chief Program Officer for the Early Childhood Council, wrote the Early Head Start grant for the Valley, and also implemented universal preschool in the Valley. So I have a pretty strong government background. I also, prior to that work though, and prior coming to the Valley, I managed consultancy, and we did consulting work with about 15 states, mostly on data analysis and quality assurance. But I do have a lot of sales experience and working with government in particular. If someone came to me for taxes, I would not be helping them. I'd be connecting them to an advisor who's got that experience, for example. But that's one of the great things about the network, is that it's really not about necessarily my expertise. It's about me hearing what your problem is, understanding what your problem is, and then connecting you to the right resource in the network or through our advisors who can help you with your particular issue. Carmen is my coordinator, and she has been with the program for a little while, providing some continuity, understands some of the resources. As I'm getting up to speed, I've been in this position for about 2 months. And then our last slide is a QR code linking to our community survey. So we're just very interested in finding out from the business community what they would like from us. This will inform that event that we're not quite ready to put out, but I should be out here in the next couple of weeks. And also just our programming in general. If there are events that we can hold, if there's something that we're missing in, for example, that existing content that's available to you, you know, when you're having your cup of coffee, we want to add to that, and we're adding to that all the time. So, and with that, I would just finish with the question. I've been kind of on a little bit of a roadshow here. This morning, I was at the Pinellas County Commission. Earlier in the week, I was at the Rio Grande County Commission, but I'm asking the same question everywhere, which is, you know, we're interested in if you're hearing a particular need from the business community. And we're also interested in if you have ways that you'd like us to engage with the business community. You know, for example, Chambers of Commerce, Rotary Club, kind of, those are kind of the obvious ones, and we're doing those things. But if there's one that that's not kind of obvious, but is a really good one, like everybody, you know, meets for coffee at such and so place on the 3rd Friday of the month, I'd love to know about it and go there and speak to the business owners directly.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If you guys...
I could tell. Go right ahead.
So Brian, are you the resource that we can send folks to as far as explaining Colorado tax credits for new businesses and training credit and number of employees and all that?
Yeah, we help. We have one of our courses that you may have heard of is something called Leading Edge, which a lot of local businesses may have gone through. First Southwest sponsored some businesses to go through that not long ago, but it's a statewide group of courses, and you know, how to set up a business, how to set up a legal entity, how to get your, you know, we have that. If someone's interested in a particular tax credit, if we're aware of that, we can connect them to that. Maybe if they're a veteran, I might connect them to the BBOC, who might be connecting them to that. But you know, our job is to understand the business need and either try and serve that through our advisors or connect them to another resource who might be able to do that.
And so can you give us a sense of, have you had any interest as far as potential businesses for Monte Vista, or is there, do you know our city clerk as far as business licenses go to send them on?
Yeah, I mean, certainly I'd be happy to connect with the clerk, be clear on your processes, make sure that we understand them, that we can connect folks to them, connect them to you when they want one. You know, and so that they're not coming to you like, hi, I've never heard of it, right? You know, they're coming to you a little bit prepared. We'd be happy to do that. Um, as far as, you know, mostly what I have, I really can't speak about individual businesses because of confidentiality, right? I would say that we've had some agricultural businesses that have approached us um, that are interested in. I can say that I haven't had someone say I want to start a business in the city of Monte Vista. So, but that doesn't mean that I'm not about to. And I'm out there, you know, um, pounding the sidewalk trying to get folks to know about what we do. So I don't think it'll take long for us to do that. So I'm happy to connect with the city clerk and make sure that we get people going on the right path.
That's great. So if you can leave us a couple of your cards.
Sure.
Because there's a process between our city clerk, and Rita can tell you about that, and then a process with our community development director, as far as if they're looking for space or buildings or lots or whatever, and then our public works director as far as the utility hookups and that sort of thing. So we'd be more than happy to be your resource as well as you being our resource.
I'd really love to be connected to the economic development director for sure. We've been working with DRG quite a bit. We've been working a little bit with the city of Alamos economic development. Also to Succeed out of Sawatch a little bit. So, but these are conversations that are just starting. My first day was later in April. So excited to work with the city's economic development person.
Thank you.
And the others you mentioned too, but just that one in particular. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just wanted to let you know that, when I hand out our business welcome packet, they already have your office number.
Great.
So I have your office number already on our welcome packet. So hopefully people are reaching out to you already through Monte Vista as well, but now that we have a person to contact, that's even better.
Yeah. Please tell them, you know, not to be intimidated, right? Sometimes I think people are a little scared to take that first step, but we're, you know, happy to have those initial conversations with them and try and get them going on the right path. And people do think of us for startup first, but please also think of us for other phases of the business cycle, because those are critically important.
Very good.
Right.
You guys got any input?
Okay. Anything? All right. If you hear anything, I'll leave several cards. I'd love to just get any input from the council, from the city manager, and from your economic development folks, or anything you all are hearing around town. All
Thank
right,
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Brian.
I'd like, I could just.
All right, we're gonna move to City of Monte Vista water restrictions. Thank you, Rob. Sure.
Thank you.
Robert Vance, Public Works Director. So tonight, bringing back to City Council a request that you had made when we first adopted the watering restrictions back in April. In the forms I gave you the actual adopted resolution 2026-11, which in essence allows 3 days worth of watering per address. And then I also included the more strict one that we had talked about that limits watering even further and places some fines for offenses. So conditions, as we all know, we're still really, really dry. Temperatures are increasing. It's quite hot outside right now. So I wanted to bring it back to city council and first kind of brief you on how the current watering restrictions are going. We have had several comments back on the current ones. Most of them have been in the regards to weekend watering. They have pretty well consistently been that they would like to see Saturday and Sunday both being watering days, and perhaps us looking at a weekday to being the non-watering day for the community if council wanted to continue with a resolution that looks very similar to resolution number 11. As far as the educational piece for people watering outside of what they're allowed, that has been welcomed with limited success. We have reached out, talked to people. Some people have, once they've known, they've complied and have been very good about it. Others, it's more lip service, thank you very much. And the very next day, they're doing the exact same thing that we called them on the day before. So enforcement of any watering restriction still remains complicated. We don't officially have a code enforcement on staff yet. The officers are still functioning very short. So of course, Public Works, we don't have enforcement capabilities. We can talk to them and we can educate, but as far as issuing any type of citation or anything of that is outside of our parameters of our job scopes. So we don't have that ability. It falls strictly to the PD with code enforcement, which they would, I'm sure Chief would attest that they are very limited at this time as to what they could actually accomplish. With everything else the department has to deal with. So I want to give you an opportunity to ask any specific questions that you may have or any concerns that you've heard from citizens that we may not have. Like I said, the concerns that have come into my office or to my staff have really not been about the 3-day watering, but which day is the non-watering, and almost consistently and unanimously people have requested both Saturday and Sunday as watering days. So they would request, the consensus was let Monday be the non-watering day and allow Saturday and Sunday watering for the odds and the even addresses. So I mean, the weather forecast is still saying that we start doing some changes in July. But right now, conditions are extremely hot. They're getting hotter on a daily basis. Even with a cold front moving through Colorado, they're still hot. Conditions are still very, very dry. I did see on Facebook, haven't seen it officially on the county, but I haven't looked. But I do believe the sheriff did implement stage 1 fire restrictions throughout Rio Grande County. A lot of our neighboring counties have also done stage 1 fire restrictions, which requires no outside burning whatsoever. So fires are still very much a real issue. Watering, of course, in a drought situation is something that we as public officials, we need to take into account. And our water is a precious commodity and we need to look at that. I know, Gigi and we as a city and especially my staff, since we're responsible for parks and stuff, we still want to keep our grasses green and alive. And the citizens would probably echo that, but we want to do it responsibly and we want to make sure we do that. So I would open it up if you guys have any questions or comments, or if you've heard anything from your constituents.
Well, I have heard on the Sunday deal. So they would rather put Monday as a no water day.
Do Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
So Wednesday, Friday, Sunday on even number. And then the odd number would stay Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Is there, what if we change we have it no watering between 10 and 6, which makes sense. Or could we turn that to 8 to 6?
Okay.
In the morning.
We could reduce the watering hours to 8. It is getting hotter earlier. So that could be a reduction. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing these ideas out. I can't.
I mean, you could even go even go to 7 in the evening. Get away, because even at 7 o'clock,
It's
still
about
yeah.
70.
So, yeah, that would be. Go
so that
from
would be
8 to 7, 8 AM
7
to 7 PM.
Okay.
I'd even push it to 8 PM, 8 to 8, you got 12 hours.
12
I
hours
mean,
daily.
it's still hot at 8.
yeah.
And some people have their system set up to where it's like in the middle, during the middle of the night, like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning.
That's
too,
on
so
the
that's-
sprinkler system.
yeah.
Might be easier, 2 KL, say 8 to 8. You
8 to 8.
remember that easier,
That's simple,
simple.
8 to 8, that'd be my suggestion. I agree with Dale, the Sunday.
Okay.
No water on Mondays, there's guys that are busy all week,
Yeah.
Sunday's their day.
Yeah,
And so the other question that's kind of come up would be your view on hand watering gardens and flower gardens. Are they allowed to do that with the garden hose outside of sprinkler? All of this is geared more towards sprinkler systems. Or would we require that to be across the board? Absolutely no watering between those times, and you're only allowed to water on your legal day to water.
See, that's in here, right? Like you can hand water.
Yes.
Yeah, hand watering will be allowed for flower gardens to
Gardens.
establish grass for no longer than 20 minutes, except during the no watering days and times.
Right.
I mean,
Seems like hand watering is pretty specific.
It's generally Pacific, but we still have, that's one of the violations, if you will, that we've been finding. Is people will put a garden hose out with a sprinkler on it and leave it. We have a federal institution that has been doing that, and they have some sprinkler issues that they're trying to take care of. But I got a report today that they watered all day yesterday, and they were watering outside their times again today. So, and I understand they're trying to recoup their grass, but
Yeah.
it's still, it's one of those situations where I need to educate them and make sure they understand the regs.
as far as a garden goes, I don't have. I think 20 minutes of hand watering with a little. I can take care of what I've got.
It's same with mine. But
Can we,
I actually thought about-
Also maybe change, just say gardens,
Sure.
like vegetable. I mean, you can't water your vegetable garden,
Yeah.
the gardens.
Yes. Is there any desire to move at this point to the more strict one, or stay closer with what's happening with resolution 11 and allow 3-day watering? Or do you want to revisit that in July or later on in the summer? Because like I said, the more strict one, especially with the fines, really becomes an enforcement issue. I'm not sure under current staffing how that's accomplished effectively. Like I said, even with the educational component, We've had limited success at best. It's not, like I said, some people, as soon as I've talked to them, absolute change back to the system, no further issues. Others were, everybody's been nice about it, but it was some folks, it's been just absolute lip service. And they go back to exactly what they were told not to do. So.
I don't like, here's my thought. We've already changed the times. And I'm just
Changed
throwing
the
this
day.
out there. Cause we got what, well, a month from the next meeting because of,
It's July 2nd.
yeah,
On the
so
July.
well, it'll be July 16th. Will be our next meeting. At that point in time, I think that gives everybody time to kind of establish what they got. And then our July 16th meeting, determine on if we're gonna go to the, cause maybe we'll get those monsoons they keep talking about.
Yeah.
So we're at that time, that's what my thought is.
I'd agree.
On that, so with the changes in resolution 2026-11 as we discussed,
Okay, I can draft
then
that up,
the 16th, we'll have that on the agenda to.
adopt. Or do you want to try to adopt that tonight?
I think we should adopt this one this evening, so then we can have
Is
everybody in place. Does
legal
that,
with
does
you?
that work for you guys? For you, Rob?
Yeah, I brought my laptop in, I can disappear into the back and
Okay.
type that up, make those changes and have it ready as resolution 18, correct? Yes, we can get that.
You
ready.
guys
I think it gives us time too, because what I've been hearing a lot of is that a lot of people aren't able to find out. There's a lot of people that aren't on
And-
social media, so they're
and-
not really aware of.
Right,
the
and there
odd
was
and
a
even days and stuff.
miscommunication on our water billing
Sure.
on the initial one. So we can make that adjustment on the next billing cycle to make sure everybody aware, do a better job of posting it on the website, Facebook, get it out on the radio.
Sure.
And try to reach out to our media sources, even do an article in the paper about the importance of doing that and try to reach as many folks. I realize we won't reach everyone.
Sure.
But hopefully with the education component still in there, we can do, and like I said, it's been limited. Some of the folks really, I give them kudos, because they, soon as they knew about it, instant change, on with the system, been excellent. So some of the citizens, I think, kudos for the way they've acted. So. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So just for consideration, I recognize 8 to 8 is easy to remember. Like I go to bed at 9 o'clock. So you get home from work and you only have, and I would almost think 8 to 7 gives people a little bit more flexibility, and yeah, it stays light longer, but you know, if this is gonna be the restrictions, we also need to kind of think about people and their work schedules and shift schedules and that sort of thing.
Get a timer.
Okay, fair enough. What are we gonna do, Rob, about all these?
People
trees
around your
that are gonna
house,
be
in
planted?
house garden.
What's that?
What are we gonna do
Wires,
about all of
yeah.
these trees that are gonna be planted
Get a
next?
timer for the faucet.
We're gonna have to figure out how to do
Down
that.
there.
You guys listen, please.
So, this, you brought up another point. We have, beginning Monday, we have 180 trees coming into the city that will be planted over the next 2 weeks. Our spring planting. So we have 180 planting sites, 180 trees that will have to be watered to be established. Most of that work happens during our business hours, which will fall outside of these times for the most part.
So you got a spot for 180?
We've got several spots for 180.
Great.
We got 16 residents have applied. We're gonna leave it open throughout the rest of the year for fall planting to allow people to continue, hopefully, as these trees go in. We've also picked about 60 sites along street right of ways that currently don't have any trees, that we're going to plant trees in. So as they start seeing these, and I will be getting a list and will be, having talks with those property owners that are adjacent to where these 60 trees are going in, just to confirm that they're not gonna try to cut them down or destroy them or anything of those nature. We actually have 142 sites picked, but we have 60 that we're planning. We also have 20 trees in reserve that we're gonna replace dead trees with. Ones that didn't make it through the winter, or some others that have died throughout the course of a few years. And then next year, or next planting cycle, we'll be taking out some of the dead and diseased trees throughout town and replacing those. So we'll be tackling some of the bigger trees. So. But are you okay with us watering the trees? We're talking 30 gallons a week per tree.
You
The next,
gotta water them or you're gonna kill them, one of the two.
exactly. And that's all hand water, there's no sprinklers involved, it's garden hose. So. And I'll make sure that when we do our media posts, that we highlight that you will see crews out watering the flower beds and the new trees. Just to make sure that it's transparent to one. Okay. Okay,
So what you go,
I will, yes.
yes,
Just, Mr. Crown,
Yes,
do we need to, should we just amend this resolution or should we create a whole new resolution?
these seem to be, unless it's considered a material change, as you know, so is your publication on the website.
It is.
So if it's considered minor, you don't have to, we could just amend it and do it.
And then let's do an amendment to resolution 2026-11,
Okay,
and then just make your changes in that.
so
And
on the, it's resolution 2611, but it's an
Amendment.
amendment to a resolution, and then go ahead and list the changes.
correct.
Yeah.
And then just so you all are aware, when you pull up the city website, on the very front page of that city website, you'll see all the buttons that you can click on. The very last button, it says watering restrictions. And when you click on that button, the very first thing that comes up is the resolution.
Yeah.
And then after that is the entire presentation that was given to us about the drought. So that is on there, and so once this is done, we'll replace that with this amendment resolution, and then we'll get that out on the radio and then in the paper as well. But that's already on the website, so it'll be created along with that.
Thank you. Council, I have member chambers.
Thanks, Will.
So council, we do need a motion and
Make a motion to amend resolution number 2026-11 as discussed.
Second,
it's been, did we approve this resolution the first time?
yes, you did.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to amend resolution number 2026-11 with said changes. Is there any discussion? Unita?
Councilor Bradshaw,
I,
Councilor Navarro,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries to amend resolution 2026-11, a resolution of the city of Monte Vista establishing watering restrictions on sprinkler systems and lawn irrigation, changing the time for watering, allowing for watering on Saturdays and Sundays, changing no watering on Mondays, and hand watering of flowering and vegetable gardens with a water hose. Did I miss anything else?
Believe that was it. Unless we need to put further clarification of watering the trees that are gonna be planted.
Watering trees that will be planted under the tree grant. Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to licensed liquor renewals.
Just need to, if you would, Mr. Mayor, you can take a motion to go into the Liquor Authority Board, is that right? It says its council acts as such.
Need a motion going to the liquor board.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded going to
Liquor Authority.
liquor authority.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, as the Liquor Authority Board. Before you is the recommendation for the
Take a
liquor
vote.
license.
Oh, hang on, we need a vote. On that.
Not to be the procedure cop,
Sorry.
but take a vote on that one. You had, I think, a motion in a second.
Sorry.
I just do it.
Sorry, all those in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. I jumped ahead. You want me to
Oh,
proceed?
yes,
No.
ma'am, please.
Okay, before you, I bring to you a recommendation, with the liquor license for the Thai Bangkok restaurant located, excuse me, located at 212 Adams Street. They, the application was submitted on, excuse me. The application was submitted to me, by the Thai Bangkok restaurant. They have completed the application in full. The application was reviewed by both myself and the city attorney. Upon acceptance of the application, they have paid their $1,000.75 fee that was required by the city of Monte Vista. They have completed all the application, including the state required paperwork, their background check that was checked through CBI. They have completed their drawing of where all their liquor would be stored. They have a refrigerator in the back that their liquor will be stored in. In your packet, you should have a drawing showing all the places where the liquor will be stored. Sonny has prepared his staff for the service. And he is here to answer any questions that you may have about that service. And any security questions that you may have about that. He is leasing the property. He does have a lease agreement in the packet as well. And that agreement includes him having a liquor license. He has completed, excuse me. The property has been posted and has been posted for 30 days. And there has been no comments, complaints about the liquor license being held at that location. Do you have any questions at this time for me?
So is this beer, wine and alcohol and liquor?
Yes, it is. He will be holding a restaurant hotel license that is considered the license through the state of Florida.
All right,
If you all approve that this evening, this will be signed off on and sent to the state of Colorado. Once they sign off on it, if you approve that this evening, I will give him a temporary license that he will be allowed to use starting tomorrow. And then at that point, once the state approves it, then he will have a full-fledged license.
can I make a motion to approve the liquor license application submitted by Thai Bangkok LLC for the premises located at 212 Adams Street in Monte Vista, Colorado, 81144. And authorized issuance of the appropriate liquor license subject to compliance with all state and local requirements.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the liquor license for Thai Bangkok LLC at 212 Adams Street. Monte Vista, Colorado, 8144. Is there any discussion? Unita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Aye.
Counselor Morano,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
motion carries to approve the liquor license for the Thai Bangkok restaurant located at 212 Adams Street in Monte Vista, Colorado. Sunny, I will get you your temporary liquor license. I'll print that up and bring it over to you tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You what? Tomorrow?
I do not work tomorrow, but I will have it printed up and bring it by you. You're welcome.
And then we'll have a toast.
Can we get a motion to go to the liquor authority board back into council?
Make a motion to go back into regular council
From the liquor authority board?
from the liquor authority board.
Second.
Then moved and seconded to go out of the liquor authority board back into city council. Any discussion? Unita?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sonny.
You got Sonny.
All right, we will move into resolutions. Resolution 2026-16, a resolution commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and the 150th anniversary of the state of Colorado, and authorizing local celebration of these historic milestones. Who's doing that one?
So, you can, if you'd like, Mr. Mayor, or I will. I just thought it was appropriate as we're coming up on the birthday of our nation that we should celebrate, that city council and community of Monte Vista should recognize it and have a resolution.
I agree.
So you want me to read it?
Yes, ma'am, I would like for you to read it.
Okay. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Monte Vista, Colorado, commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and the 150th anniversary of the state of Colorado, and authorizing local celebrations of these historic milestones. Whereas July the 4th, 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of the United States of America, a historic semi-quincentennial milestone celebrated nationwide as America 250. And whereas August the 1st, 2026 marks the 150th anniversary of Colorado's admission to the Union as the Centennial State, representing a rich history of cultural heritage, resilience, and community. And whereas July the 3rd, 2026 marks the 140th anniversary of the incorporation of Monte Vista, meaning Mountain View, with a history rooted in the expansion of the American West, innovative agriculture, and a distinct agricultural legacy. And whereas local governance and democracy at the doorstep serve as the cornerstone of America's founding story, where cities like Monte Vista shape the daily lives of residents and build the foundation for the nation's future. And whereas the city of Monte Vista boasts its deep roots in the San Luis Valley, built on a legacy of agricultural innovation, cultural diversity, and community spirit that perfectly reflects the broader history of both Colorado and the United States. And whereas this historic dual anniversary offers a unique opportunity for Monte Vista residents to come together despite any differences to reflect on our shared past, celebrate our unique local identity, and renew our commitment to the ideals of democracy. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Monte Vista, Colorado, that the city of Monte Vista officially recognizes and joins the nation and the state in celebrating America 250 and the Colorado 150th anniversaries throughout the year of 2026. And the city council encourages municipal departments, the Monte Vista Public Library, the Monte Vista Historical Society, the Transportation Museum, the Rio Grande County Museum, the Monte Vista and Sargent Schools, and community organizations to collaborate on initiatives that educate, engage, and unite residents utilizing framework ideas such as participating in local 4th of July activities, attending the Sky High Stampede celebrating freedom of the Western Way on July the 10th, applauding the 20th anniversary of the San Luis Valley Potato Festival, and or hosting public forums and civility discussions focused on strengthening local democracy and the San Luis Valley community bonds, partnering our local historical associations to highlight key landmarks, people, and events that shaped Monte Vista's place in Colorado's history, and inviting residents and to community-wide reads and public events that celebrate our unique agricultural and cultural heritage. The City Council calls upon all residents of Monte Vista to look to the future with a shared vision, dedicating themselves to volunteer service and active civic participation to ensure our community remains a vibrant, welcoming place to live, learn, and grow for the next 150 years and beyond. Approved, passed, and adopted this 16th day of June, 2026.
Need a motion.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-16. Resolution commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and the 150th anniversary of the state of Colorado, and authorizing local celebration of these historic milestones.
I'd second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2026-16, a resolution commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and the 150th anniversary of the state of Colorado, and authorizing local celebration of these historic milestones. Is there any discussion?
Let's do it.
Only thing I'm gonna say is my dad passed away at 93 years old, and that was 12 years ago. He was real close to the beginning. So, Unita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Aye.
Counselor Naranjo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve resolution 2026-16, a resolution commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America and the 150th anniversary of the state of Colorado, and authorizing local celebration of these historic milestones.
Very good. Resolution 2026-17, the resolution canceling the July 2nd, 2026 council meeting.
I make that motion to adopt resolution 2026-17, a resolution canceling the July to 2026 council meeting.
Seconded.
He doesn't want to read it.
It's been, just sit down, Brad.
I appreciate your approach.
Did you have something to say?
No, sir.
I, well, more than happy to hear any other.
No, sir.
Resolution 2020, motion. It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2026-17, resolution canceling the July 2nd, 2026 council meeting. Is there any discussion?
Does it need to be?
Unita?
Yes.
Counselor Bradshaw,
Yeah.
Counselor Naranjo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
I'm in.
Mayor Becker.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve resolution 2026-17, a resolution canceling the July 2nd, 2026 council meeting. And this is per our charter.
Through the charter,
per the
okay.
charter.
is that the day that mayor was gonna have a barbecue at his house?
That's what I heard.
That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Yep.
You guys,
I think-
you guys
yeah.
been drinking your bathwater.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move to staff proposals, reports and actions. Recreation. Man, I hope they wrote your report.
You know what?
I hope that your staff wrote your report. It's more fun. Just saying, Durbin.
Sure, they did. So, good evening, everyone. Well, as far as recreation goes, today or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, we had a soccer camp, which had 60 kids in it. Right after soccer got out of there, we had to set up for T-ball games, and we have 70 kids in our T-ball program. We only have 4 teams, so it's like 18, 19 kids per team that's on there. But our numbers and just so that Monty didn't have to play Monty all the time, and now we're limited to 4 teams, which is awesome. We have coach pitch, where our kids are starting to learn to pitch to each other rather than the coaches' pitches, which is great. Kids are learning skills and doing private lessons and whatnot. That really helps them out and move them forward. Our 12 to 14 team is doing great. There's only 4 teams in that league, and we have 3 of them. So our numbers are really awesome for our baseball program. And that's it for recreation.
Durbin, why don't you give an update on the baseball fields?
Oh, I forgot about the baseball fields. Baseball fields are coming along, and you know what's nice is we handed them the check, and we haven't had to do anything since. So, so they've got the markings out there. They're starting to get the markings out there. They've sprayed and whatnot. And from my understanding, the dirt's going to be delivered next week, and then they're supposed to start planting grass at the middle of July. So they expect all of these fields to be ready by August. So we'll see what happens, but the grass and the infield should be ready. Just a matter of how fast the grass is going to grow, but the fields will be awesome. There's going to be 2 fields right now. One's going to be geared towards the little ones as well as softball, so the girls will have their own field. And then one's going to be geared more towards baseball, the older kids. So there'd be 2 of the baseball fields out there, but what's nice is softball, the girls will be having their own field that's geared towards them. Fences are shortened up as well as for the little guys. So the joy of hitting a home run over the fence and that they should all get. So that it? Is that it? All right, that's recreation. Any questions for recreation? Thank you. All right, we're at it. Here's my report written by my assistant. Okay. Good evening, council. Here's a quick update on what has been happening at Sky High. You can definitely tell that the warm weather has arrived. We had several small horse clinics taking place in the arena. Our dance lessons and open walking programs have ended for the season, and we hope to bring the dance lessons back this fall, and the walking program will definitely be back in November. Stampede is right around the corner, and we have been busy preparing the facility for everyone to enjoy Stampede weekend. We are also working on hosting a book fair in July. There will be sections for both children and adults, seniors. We're also going to have finger foods at this event. And what we've done is contacted Barnes and Noble to co-sponsor this. So everything that we buy from them, they are going to give us a 20% discount. So what we've done is one of the ladies from Barnes and Noble runs book fairs all the time. So she gave us a suggestion of books to buy. So we are going to be purchasing $1,300 worth of books, and they'll either be at low cost or no cost to the community that chooses to come to the book fair. We're really looking forward to it. Of the book fair, we'll start advertising here pretty quick. We have a flyer that we're going to be presenting to everyone. The book fair is going to be on July 26th. And that'll be from 2 to 5. That's a Sunday. And then we're going to come back with it on July 27th from 5 to 8. And all of this will be taking place at Sky High. And we're going to set the rooms up. One of the rooms is going to be geared towards adult books. Not the kinds you're thinking of, Mayor, okay? Not the kinds you guys are thinking of, all right? Adult books, okay? We're also gonna have a classroom where there's gonna be preschool books, middle or elementary books, middle school books, as well as high school books. One of the people on the council didn't think we have enough adult books and senior books, so we're gonna be buying, we're gonna go back to Jennifer and ask her to give us another list of older books, that adult books and senior books that we could also have for the book fair. So we're excited about that.
Aren't you taking donations for books at all?
Yeah, we are taking donations for books too, and we did receive a $500 donation from the Rotary Club to purchase books, so that'll go towards. And the other is from a grant that we received for Sky High that we wrote just for community events. We're going to be responsible for doing 4 community events. This will be the second one. The Cumbia Kings was first, and this will be the second one that we're doing. And what the third one is probably going to be is a carnival at Sky High, carnival type atmosphere at Sky High. Thank you and have a great rest of your evening. Are there any questions for? Oh, so we have a turf tank, and that is geared towards Sky High. And we will be painting the Stampede parking lot on the 7th, starting at 9 o'clock. We're going to paint 356 parking spots out at Sky High alone parking lot. And then since we used the church has asked us to also paint some parking spots in theirs. So the guys been fooling around with it, and that the guy's going to come back and do it. So training with that on how to do the parking lots. So that should be lots of fun. And basically we set it up and we just watch it. And hopefully it doesn't run out of paint. So any questions for Sky High?
What was the day of the book fair?
The 26th and 27th. So 26th is a Sunday from 2 to 5, and then on Monday it'll be from 5 to 8. So it gives everybody a chance to go to church, and also gives everybody a chance to get off work. So, and I'll provide flyers for you at your next meeting. Thanks. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
And at the book fair, we do plan on having a dunk tank. We'll expect to see you there.
Yeah, you are such a funny man.
Thank you for volunteering. We appreciate that. Thank Bill. He's such a nice guy.
calling you Dunk Tank Dale. Dunk Tank Dale.
It's Dunk Tank Dermot. That's what he calls me, so. I quit going to those events because I got drowned it too many times. All right. Kids Connection, Anika.
We need to help you up there. Oh, you gonna talk about the archery?
Sure.
Thank you.
Good evening. That was the longest I've been able to sit down all day, and the silence, I'm like literally about to crash. It's if I could have gone home right after work, I would have been in bed already. So Kids Connection is in its 3rd week of summer programming, and it has been a hot, exhausting summer. Just a few numbers to throw at you. We have 113 children enrolled for summer programming. Right now we are averaging about 47 kids a day. Of that 113, 31 of them are brand new members to the program that have never attended Kids Connection before. I actually have kids coming from La Hera because they've heard good things about Kids Connection, which is great for us because they're paying members. So we welcome that. But we've had a lot of brand new faces. I think I had 3 emails from parents today, as well as Alamosa County, about placing members who are going through the system into our care, so they have a safe place to be. Let's see. Okay, here's another really fun number. So we have worked officially 108 hours with children in the 3 weeks that we have been open. And I have one member that has been with us 104 hours and 38 minutes of those 108 hours. My enrollment software breaks it all down for us. So at the end of the end of the month. It's crazy to see how many hours. I have a bunch more numbers about how many hours we spend with kids versus how many hours their parents spend with kids. And it's interesting that the amount of hours that some of our parents spend with their children during the summer doesn't even equal a full-time job for a week. So we are official foster parents for a lot of our kids during the summer. Let's see. This week alone, I went through 14 gallons of milk. I was kind of shocked when I looked at the fridge. I was like, there's no way I'm out of milk. And sure enough, that's exactly how many gallons I can fit at the bottom of my refrigerator. And I pulled out a gallon of milk for lunch. Barely made it through lunch service. I think I have like a quarter of a gallon, but we went through 14 gallons this week. We had a field trip. Was that last week?
Yes.
Okay. We had a field trip last Tuesday, I believe, out to Shriver Wright, in partnership with the Colorado Parks and Wildlife and Durban with Recreation. Who else am I missing?
CSU Extension.
Oh yeah, CSU Extension. And we did the archery activities out there and had a group fishing at Home Lake. And I think they ended up with like 24 of our kids for that day. That's how many we had in the specific group that was there, which was our green room, and that's our 3rd grade and older. I wrote a bunch of notes and I go putting numbers on them so that I can try to go in somewhat of an order. I received notice that we received our Caring for Colorado grant that we applied for. We didn't get the full ask amount, but we received $100,000 over the next 2 years. So it's $50,000 for this year and $50,000 for next year. And I am getting ready for Stampede and looking for donations for the float as well as candy. And I think last year we handed out over 100 pounds of candy. So if you know anybody that would like to sponsor a float, I'm looking for monetary donations to make purchases, as well as by Monday I should have a pretty comprehensive list of some of the things that I'm going to need to make this float happen. With the price of stuff this year, it's going to be, I'm trying to make it affordable, but it's going to be expensive. And then last thing on my list is Kids Connection is going to be taking a very well-earned break this summer for the 1 week, June 29th to July 2nd. We're taking a 1 week break so staff can enjoy their family and enjoy a little bit of the summer. Then we'll come back on July 6th, I believe, just in time to prep for the chaos of Stampede Week. So we're gonna get lots of rest and then gonna walk right back into crazy children again. So that's all I have for you. If you have any questions for me.
Anybody else? Thank you, Anika. City Attorney.
Good evening. Since I saw you last, let's see, we've accomplished, and I wrote the letter for Wall Smith and Bateman to meet your annual audit requirements regarding pending litigation and the anticipated litigation. I've done some work and began to dip my toe in the wastewater treatment issue with CDPHE. Attended a meeting with Rob, Gigi, our team, and the state, if you will, on that, and began to understand what that discussion is and where our experts begin to look differently, or at least a little bit than the state. So that's been interesting. Dug into some of the records. However, that'll be an ongoing process. As you know, it's fairly complicated, but fascinating. And I look forward to working with Rob some more as he educates me on the facts and layouts and certain terms that we're dealing with. But trying to get into that to try to really put a legal eye on what's going on with the state. Are they holding us to a different or the standard that what we should be? Those types of things in a very friendly way, of course, but just want to make sure that our interests are protected. Certainly the meeting was in the spirit of cooperation, as I would expect we'd move forward with that same spirit. However, we need to make sure that things are done right. So did some general, research projects are ongoing. For instance, on general police powers for nuisance enforcement, things like that. I'm mostly looking at as we continue to work with and amend our criminal code. I believe you're going to be seeing some changes to that maybe next month or soon. I know we've been talking about that. There's quite a bit of changes that need to be made. At least we'll get some of those knocked out soon. Did quite a bit of review analysis of the statutory authority and parameters provided to your 1% sales tax committee. And also, of course, I attended the meeting. We went over that a little bit. I created some documentation analysis for them to review before the next meeting regarding my legal analysis is make sure that our bylaws are in conformance with Colorado law, that they're enforceable. Are there any terms that could be vague or interpreted in such a way that would usurp or infringe upon the council's authority? Because it's only the council that has authority for a bunch of decisions, as you're aware, they don't. So they can have input and recommendations. So that's some of the conversation. I made some suggestions if they would like to amend your bylaws and clean them up a little bit. Not that they're bad at all, not that they're terrible or unenforceable, but there are some phrases that I analyzed. I thought maybe we could make that a little bit more clear under Colorado law to make sure that nothing could try to be argued or interpreted to be usurp on your power. And I thought it was a pretty good conversation with the 1%. They're open to a lot of things and had some ideas, so they went fairly well. My weekly meetings with sort of department heads continue. It seems like I'm constantly in touch with Ms. Vance and Gigi, and Charlie and I had a little bit of a break from each other, and we dropped by to say hi for a change. But we'll talk more about that later in another session as far as my involvement with him, his department was doing there. Did some work for a DJ on a contract for sale of the Broadway property that he's working on, and reviewed, analyzed, and met with him, and also drafted a contract. But this is more, it's at a stage where the potential buyer needs to do some work on their end before, but we're pretty well ready to go. And I want to make sure that he was ready to go. We're waiting on the buyer when that's going to go through. And then a little bit of work on state liquor licenses, some research, everything was fine, didn't take too long, but I wanted to make sure in addition to reviewing the application that that there weren't any other legal issues floating out there in the background regarding status and things like that that would interfere with the license that you've already granted tonight. If there was any problems, I would have spoke up. There aren't, everything was fine. I want to also kudos to Ms. Vance. Sets a pretty high bar when it comes to running court, but her pinch hitter did a great job. So I wanted to pass that along. Michelle went right in, and speaking of court, much better report, hit about 98% turnout. And I think everybody but one pled guilty, took responsibility for their actions and promised to pay us money. Much different report than the last time I gave you a report on court. Any questions? I'll save the rest for later. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brad. City manager report.
So Neighborhood Watch was last night, not last night, no, it was Tuesday night.
You're close.
I said close. This
It was this week.
And, those are sponsored by the Rio Grande County Health. And all of these, in case anybody wants one. But they're doing this survey, a community wellness survey, conducting the survey on chronic disease resources, priorities, and perceptions here in Rio Grande County. And this is obviously not only for the county, but for the hospital as well. So if you've got the time, or please make a few extra minutes. They said it could be a little bit lengthy, but this is due by June the 30th, and they are trying to gather as much information as they can. So I said I'd pass that along. Neighborhood Watch was good. The sheriff's office did not show up, or I'm sure they had other emergencies, but Chief was there as well as Sergeant Hill, and gave a nice presentation on how to be a good witness. So they went through all of that. Today we had lunch. The mayor, Councilman Howard, and then Commissioner Ratzliff and their county administrator Skip and I had lunch today. Nothing earth shaking out of that, but it was a nice conversation, and I appreciate the county commissioners kind of pushing that issue to say, hey, let's get together and talk and continue that working relationship. I also want to thank Counselor Ratzliff and the others. Anika didn't mention it, but they had a scheduled visit for Kids Connection this week, and due to some unforeseen circumstances, we had to cancel it. And so we'll get that rescheduled. We'd like to get you guys back through Kids Connection. So thank you for your understanding on that. And then the main crux of today's discussion is that we need to have some work sessions, and they're about that exciting. Lauren yawned.
Wasn't because I'm tired, there's a specific reason.
Yes, work sessions.
Well, I suppose that could be it.
But we need to get you guys caught up on the changes we'd like to recommend for the nuisance code. This will give our code enforcer, community development, and the rest of the police department the authority to push the envelope and get a little bit more compliance on some of these things in town. The one beef I have, and where I really want to tackle, is graffiti, and we don't have anything that makes people clean up their graffiti. And so that building that's on 2nd and Adams, on the south side of I call it the old Centennial Merit, that building is owned by Dr. David Hinckley. And that graffiti has been there now for 2 years. And I'll call him, I'll suggest to him how to get, I've given him names of people that would remove it, and it's not getting done. And now at that lot where his business faces, we have a new business, a nice little brew pub there. And here's this tacky graffiti still left on the building. So that's just one example of some of the stuff in the nuisance code that then we can make him come into court, municipal court, and hopefully get that enforced. So I'm hoping you guys might have June 29th, the 30th, or July the 1st available, so we can get that one out as an ordinance. It'll have to be written as an ordinance.
Wait,
And so it'll take 2 readings, and
What were the dates again, Gigi?
June 29, 30, or July 1. So next Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
June 29th would be out, that's the chamber's annual meeting.
Okay, so not the 29th,
What
I'm
was that?
available either.
the 30th or the 1st
What?
of June.
Who
June 30th.
wants that?
What?
Who's to say who wants the 29th?
Nita just reminded me that the Monte Vista Chamber of Commerce is having their annual meeting on the night of the 29th. And we should mention that because they always like city participation. And if any of you want to attend that as a city council member, we will pay your ticket for it. So
30th works.
Yeah,
sure.
Um,
Okay,
that doesn't matter.
5:30. 6. Thank you. Thank
Which
you.
day?
30th,
The 30th.
Tuesday the 30th. And then planning and zoning has been working, almost 3 years on the land use codes, and they want to see that get adopted. And so we were wondering, that one could be a little lengthy. If we could pick a date on the week of July the 6th to talk about land use codes, and Councilman Howard can tell you how stimulating those meetings have been.
What was that?
The land use codes and planning and zoning.
July 6th,
Yeah,
6 p.m.
that works for all of you.
I don't know if I could do the 6th.
Yeah, I got a meeting on the 6th, so, but yeah, you could go without me.
Same.
You've heard a lot of it already. July 7th.
$7.
Okay, we'll do July 7th at 6 p.m. And then we need to get something scheduled for Rob and I to go over the water and sewer rate potential increases and what those say. Getting really important and exciting subjects. So the week of the 13th, we have a city council meeting. But we could squeeze it in one of those days before the next council, or we can put it the following week.
I would suggest for my schedule, the 13th, week of the 13th. If I'm being selfish about it.
Do it on Tuesday, the 14th.
I won't be here.
We'll be here. What day works for you? 16th, the 13th, 15th.
Yeah, Wednesday the 16th. I mean 15th.
Could probably do the 15th. Should be back.
And like I said, if you guys did want Tuesday, Councilman Howard has heard a lot of it because he attends a lot of those planning and zoning meetings, so.
It doesn't matter to me. Either day for me.
So July 15th for the wastewater, or I mean the water.
July 15th is the water rate stuff.
Right, water and sewer rates.
So let's do it the 15th. That way maybe you can be here.
I should be back.
Okay. And then we won't schedule any more right now, but just a couple other things that we need to discuss is the status of 117 Adams. That would be the building directly to the south of the Sunflower Garage. And that building was given to the city by RG Bank. I don't know how many years ago. And it has been looked at for the asbestos. It's an environmental mess. We've had some people ask if they could purchase it. One of them was here earlier this evening. And we just need to talk through, do you want us to work off of our grants in order to try and clean it up? It has a partial open roof. It's going to take quite a bit of grant, where we might have somebody that just wants to buy it. And so let them handle it. So anyway, no decisions now. We'll have a lot more detail, but that's one thing we would need to talk about. We also need to talk about the Valley Theater, and that's kind of in the same thing. It has been tested for the asbestos. It's actually surprisingly not as bad as you would think for a building of that size. And I think I've got like 4 different entities that are all interested in wanting to put in some sort of a bid and make an offer, or if we set a price. The last time we did this, because what our charter says is that we have to sell it at least appraised value. Well, we did have it appraised, but the appraisers had a very difficult time coming up with any comparable buildings to compare it with. So we need to decide what we're going to do and how we go ahead and move forward with the theater. And then the other thing that, through planning and zoning, we want to visit with you guys about the potential of a vacant building fee. And this would be for residential and or commercial buildings. And DJ's initial thought on this is that if you've got grandma's house and you live in Oklahoma and it's just sitting there and they're not planning on moving, the weeds are unruly, you know, that it's just there because 6 kids can't decide how they're going to sell it and split up the money. We will, you guys would consider assessing them $250 a year for that. And if they don't pay it by the end of the year, it goes on their lien. Then, so we're hoping that it helps motivate and move people, either clean it up, put it on the market, tear it down, or you know, fix it up and use it as a rental so that it helps out with the housing. That $250 would be set aside specifically for the cleanups that Rob's guys usually do when we do have to clean up property, or when we are called in to have to board up because people know it's vacant and we've got vagrants trying to live inside of it, or they've broken out windows, so we have to secure it. Rob, do you remember how many vacant buildings? They said there's like 240 vacant, potentially blighted houses in town. And so assessing $250, that's gonna hopefully move people to do something or clean it up or recognize we're serious. And then consider the same thing. Do we want to do that on commercial buildings, especially in our commercial area, so that we don't have individuals like what was once a great drugstore there at the corner of Second and Adams is being used by that family as just storage. And so that takes away our ability to potentially have somebody that's going to put something in there and have sales tax. So these are just some of the things that we need to get talking about and taking into consideration and see how we want to move forward on some of these things. I decided that we needed a little employee thank you. We just needed a little cheer. So you guys are invited June 29th. That's a Monday. We're going to do a little hamburger and hot dog barbecue out at Sky High for the staff. So if you want to come by for a burger, Durbin gave me a hard time because I said I wanted potato chips and potato salad. So
That's lunch?
yeah,
Noon?
noon.
We have to have chips. Yeah, chips.
It's going to be a menu Gigi likes. No.
That's true.
So that's it, unless you have any questions. Next week is CML, so I'll be up in Westminster. Councilman Howard's going and Mr. Crowell's going.
That's week long, right?
Starts Monday, like 1 o'clock until noon on Thursday. So all week.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gigi.
Anita, do you have the details on the chamber banquet?
Yeah, I can send it to everyone. I'll get that set up.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to council committee, city commission, and council reports. Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Please.
Nala? This one you're on.
Just had my 10-year wedding anniversary last week, and I'm still breathing, so life is good.
Councilman Bradshaw.
Not much, talked to the arborist walking around, checking the trees. Said for the most part, trees look pretty good in the city. Few issues out there, but for the most part, everything looks pretty good. We won't be here before Stampede, get out, go to Stampede, spend some money. That's what I got.
Go. Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Margot, and your crew and all the folks who've been planting flowers.
Oh, maybe. Oh.
Yeah.
But I'm Laura.
I know the flower market has been working with the city in regards to that, so I thank them. I also seen that, the flower market lady and her husband and her son, and I think it was her sister-in-law were out planting flowers too the other night. So it's really been good to see them do that. So thank you to everybody that's done that. And that I will leave with Monty Strong, and I will call for a motion to go into executive session.
And a happy 4th of July.
And happy 4th of July, yes. Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
And moved and seconded to go into executive session. Is there any discussion?
Just one. Do I understand that motion to be executive session for legal counsel pursuant to CRS 246-4024B for conference with the city attorney for purpose of receiving legal advice regarding Monte Vista and individually named employees as defendants, naming the on the agenda and public and already published as far as the case number and where the court is involving a newly filed action, and to also understand it. And anyway, I'll go ahead and let you make that motion. I just want to make sure it was in enough detail for the record. You can now take a vote and I'll have another comment.
That motion makes that exactly.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to go into executive session. The legal counsel pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024B for a conference with the city attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding the city of Monte Vista and individually named employees as defendants. Do I need to finish it all, Brad?
I'll state just before the vote's taken that I have as city attorney certified and reviewed the information. I certify that in fact it contains attorney-client privileged information, and therefore this session shall not be recorded.
Thank you, sir. Unita?
Counselor Bradshaw,
Aye.
Counselor Navarro,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Motion carries to go into executive session as stated by legal counsel Brad Prout.